resides in Brooklyn, New York. It's official. It's official. That's one thing we're going to get into. The other thing is going to be Carson Wentz being in Indianapolis Colts. We got some things to talk about in regards to that. And, of course, after watching Anthony Edwards with that nasty dunk over the weekend, what about the greatest dunks of all time? The greatest facials? What's your choice? I'll let you know mine. Max will have an opinion, too, for sure. You know that. First Takes in the house. Started a new week. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a Monday. Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karen Rose. Hope you all had a fabulous weekend. Gentlemen, we got plenty to talk about, or what? So let's dive right into it. We're starting in the association. BK, stand up. That's all I got to say. The Brooklyn Nets, fellas, taking down who? Oh, Kawhi and the Clippers. And who? LeBron and the Lakers. The Nets have the second best record in the East and the best record against teams above 500. Max, did the Nets prove to you that they are the best team in the association?
Not yet. No, they didn't. Now, they're going to be a problem. At the very least, the Nets are a problem. And without, once KD and Kyrie and James Harden and Joe Harrison, all these guys are healthy and playing together, they're only going to get better. They're going to be a problem. But have they proved they're the best because they beat a Lakers team without AD? Because they beat a Clippers team where Paul George is on minute restrictions and James Harden gets away gets a call that he didn't deserve after a flop? No, they didn't prove that. Stephen A., I noticed you're not talking about the Knicks this morning, by the way. After all that talk last week, I noticed we're focusing on the Nets. Yes, the Nets are going to be the greatest offensive team of all time, if they're not already. By the end of this season, they will be, by not a little bit, the greatest offensive team of all time. But there's only one team in the NBA that is elite, especially when AD is there, on both ends of the floor. Elite, offense and defense, and that's the Lakers. The Lakers are the reigning and defending NBA champions. They basically went wire to wire last year. Gentlemen swept the West 4-1, 4-1, and didn't go even 7 games in the finals against a very plucky Heat team. That's this Lakers team. Did they get better or worse in the offseason? They got better. They got better in the offseason. The defending champions, who never got extended last year's playoffs, who went wire to wire, got better in the offseason. Now, of course, all of this assumes AD's health. If AD is healthy, the Nets and the Lakers will be an epic finals. But I'm not ready to sit here today and say, yeah, it's the Nets. They should be favored. No, the defending champion Lakers, all roads to the championship go through the defending champion Lakers if AD is healthy.
Well, again, if AD is healthy, that's the caveat there. But I don't believe he's going to be 100% for the rest of the season. I think that eventually when he comes back, he's still not going to be 100%, and he's going to be playing relatively timid. He's going to have to watch his lateral movement. He's going to have to watch sharp cuts and things of that nature. He's not going to be himself, and that's the reason that I've got the Brooklyn Nets as the best team in basketball. You got to remember, they've won 5 straight. They've won 6 straight. Think about the road that they went through. They beat Golden State. They beat the Clippers twice. They've beaten the Los Angeles Lakers. When you look at this team right now and the way that they're flowing offensively, they are a juggernaut. Their defense has improved marginally at the very least. They're 12-4 against teams 500 or better, which is the best in the NBA. They've beaten every team in this league that matters. They've beaten Boston. They've beaten Indiana. They've beaten both LA teams. They've beaten Golden State. They've beaten everybody, okay? And that's with their roster being relatively sporadic, because whether Kevin Durant was there with Kyrie and no Harden, whether Harden was there with Kevin Durant but no Kyrie, whether Kyrie and Harden was there with no KD. The 3 of them haven't played but a few games together. It doesn't matter. When you look at them right now, even if Kyrie was out, Harden and KD could potentially win you a championship. I don't think Harden and Kyrie could do to win you the chip, but I think they could get you out of the East potentially the way that they're playing basketball right now. Harden's level of unselfishness can't be applauded enough. And watching Kyrie last night, let me tell you something right now. Kyrie's the best show in basketball. I'm talking about in terms of box office attraction, walking through the turnstiles to see a show. The things that this brother does with a basketball is absolutely sensational. And the level of unselfishness that he is showcasing, he deserves a lot of credit for that. Now, in the fourth quarter, he only shot 2 of 9 yesterday, 0 of 4 from three-point range. So there was a little hero ball going on, and we understand that that's something that can happen if they're going to win the chip. But I'm looking at the shots that he has set up for other people. He's been absolutely sensational. And defensively, they have stepped up. And again, the unselfishness with him and Harden getting the Joe Harrises, the Jeff Greens, the TLCs, and others involved, the Bruce Browns. I mean, they are distributing the basketball offensively in terms of Nash with Mike D'Antoni. We've seen a positive impact. There isn't a better team in basketball. And by the way, the one game they had against Utah this year, they beat Utah by 34. I'm just telling you right now, these brothers look absolutely, positively special. And I don't see anybody outside of a healthy Lakers squad with Anthony Davis standing in their way. And he better be 100%, or even that ain't going to be enough.
Welcome to the Kyrie is the best show in basketball party. I've been saying he's the best show in basketball, but the difference is what you pointed out. They're winning. Kyrie has always been a great show. Even last year when things weren't great and you're like, well, at least Kyrie is putting on a show early.
That's not true.
What's that?
No, it was inconsistency, and Max, you're living proof of it because you spent more time, and Molly is an eyewitness to this. You spent more time talking about what a disruptive force Kyrie was than what a showstopper he was.
That's why the more important thing. Look, the show is no doubt. He's spectacular. He's doing it in service.
I'm talking now, night in, night out. Now
he's been, but he's put up numbers to where you have to do it night in and night out, and he looks spectacular and wows the crowd, but. Really, teams have functioned worse too often with him. And the difference this year, and he's played on teams with good players, like once he left Cleveland, very good players. But those guys were not yet great in Boston.
There's no evidence of that other than Boston.
What evidence of what?
In terms of him, teams playing bad with him. The only evidence of that was Boston.
No, Cleveland until LeBron showed up was one of the most losing franchise in the NBA. I understand
he just got in the league. He was a rookie. He was the first 2 years of the league.
That's okay. They were still one of the worst teams in the NBA.
They got better each year he was there.
And on Brooklyn, the team did not function better with him than without him, and they were not a great team. That's the reality of Kyrie Irving. It's not the reality anymore. It's not the reality anymore. Right. He's playing with other great players, not just other good players. And it's made a huge difference in his game because he trusts them differently, obviously. And because of that, you can point out Harden's unselfish play. That's true. Harden, since he's been in Brooklyn, has been as good as anyone in the league. But really, Kyrie remains the key in that way. Kyrie is the one. Is he going to play too much hero ball, et cetera, et cetera? He hasn't. Kyrie has figured it out with Harden, and they look amazing. And once KD comes back, they're going to be incredible. Who's the best player in the NBA? Still LeBron James. And AD has a case to be the second or top 3, obviously top 5. The Lakers, and the difference is the Lakers do it on both ends of the floor because AD came on this show last year and told us, I challenged LeBron. That's why, defensively, that's why LeBron, his defense is more similar to what it was in Miami than what it was in Cleveland since AD got to the team. And that two-way play on the Lakers makes them the favorites if everybody's healthy until further notice.
First of all, you're wrong. Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers got better each year that he was there. After LeBron left, he was a rookie, #1 overall pick. They got better each year that he was there before LeBron got there, and they went to the final. I'm saying they got better each year. He was a rookie, and they got better each of the 3 years that he was there before LeBron James arrived. That's #1. #2, make up your mind about Anthony Davis. #2, #3, #5. Which one is it? #2. Okay, that's the bottom line. #3.
Well, you could argue anywhere between 2 and 5.
When you look at what I'm saying, you can argue. Pick one. I got him top 3. All I'm saying is you said 2, 3, or 5. That's what I'm talking about because we talk about Joel Embiid later. Let's not forget that in the show. Then we got a situation right now when you look at the Nets and you're talking about D'Antoni and you're talking about Nash and you was talking about their defense. And I told you back then, I said, excuse me, Max, all they have to do is improve marginally. All they have to do is improve marginally on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they're going to be unselfish. They're going to share the ball and watch how they look. This is what it is. And so now they're going up against teams. They're playing a complete game, even without one of their weapons, their best weapon, which is Kevin Durant, and they're smoking cats. I can't ignore that. The Brooklyn Nets are the best team in basketball right now.
The Brooklyn Nets going to have the greatest offense of all time if they don't already. You got to prove you're the best team in basketball. There's only one way to do that.
We said the best team right now.
Okay.
Operative words.
All right.
Right
as far as
now.
offense,
This year.
Okay.
we're so chipper on a Monday morning.
Do we know if he's going to be
Brooklyn
alive next
averaging
week?
over 120 points per game on their 6-game win streak. 5 of those games are on the road. Fellas, maybe the Boston Celtics missing Kyrie. Let's go there.